This is another response video from Traders Beware. You must be prepared for the day after tomorrow scenario. Smokin' Joe Trainer is one that I subscribe to too. I think this guy is probably going to be able to figure out what's going on with this game. I think this, his intentions are really good, but he's really, really screwed up. You got to kind of look at who it is that you want to believe in and what it is you want to believe in. Now, this Smokin' Joe guy is the guy that I seen on Blog TV that's saying if he gets arrested while drinking and driving, then that's pre-crime. He's also starting to film his YouTube videos while driving. The guy is, hasn't figured out the answers yet. He's connected with all of the screwed up people that are creating all of these problems. And if he doesn't watch what he's doing, he's going to guide everybody down the wrong path. Now, that video that you watched, I watched as well. And one of the biggest things you got to understand is, these experts are guessing. They have no idea of what's going on. They're making a lot of assumptions about a lot of things. Yes, there's something going on. Yes, there's something that we need to be prepared for. This Mayan calendar will open you up to what it is you need to see. And yes, this Mayan calendar is talking about this big rift. Yes, it is talking about we're going into an alignment. But the big deal that we need to realize is we've got two paths to take. We have the day after tomorrow, the whole world is destroyed, or we have the path of, no, it ain't. We need to be the change. You have to understand, and this is so friggin' important, that everything you choose to believe that's true is coming from all of these intelligent elites, the army guys, the Green Berets, all of these guys that are protecting, what they see is coming. Why? Because they created all of this shit. Why is the earth being, we're getting earthquakes, and why are we getting all of these life changes? We are controlling the universe is not controlling us. That is where we're going wrong. Nobody has gone out into the universe to look at us to see what's really going on. They look at us like from the universal perspective. They're looking at our human experience, our earth, and our galaxies from a very tunnel vision. They haven't figured out what a black hole is. They haven't figured out the bigness and smallness of things and where things can be proven in the bigness and smallness of things. This guy is saying, in the quantum world, we haven't figured it out yet. So while he's admitting he hasn't figured it out yet, it's because he hasn't figured it out yet. And yet he's going to write a book and he's going to guide you down the path of, the day after. So it's like, it's all been designed to create fear. One of the biggest things, first of all, the truth is going to seem really unreal. The truth is going to be something that you reject, because the truth is, something, it's a belief. And you believe something else, and so when you hear the truth, it goes against your belief systems. So you will never, ever agree with truth because your belief systems won't allow you to believe in it. We have zero, and this is something that Smokin' Joe has even brought up, and I actually mentioned it on a post that he probably rejected, but yet within a few days he's starting to talk about the same thing that I put in there, and that is, does our earth revolve around the sun? And where we are positioned with the sun, we don't know. Nobody has looked within the farness of the universe and looked back in. We are making assumptions. The earth is not revolving around the sun. Everything is revolving around the earth. We are the epicenter of everything that's out there. We are the smallness of everything, and the universe is the bigness of everything. The universe is a reflection of ourselves, and everything operates with a magnetism. What is going on with that sun? That sun is creating a hell of a lot of havoc over our planet. And it is doing so like karma. What we put out into the bigness is what's going to come back at us. And if you can't tell, all of these green berets, all of these elites, all of these big educated people that think they know what's going on, what have they done? They've freaking destroyed the freaking planet. They are the ones that are responsible for all of these earthquakes that we're dealing with, and yet they're gonna blame you for what they create. I know it's really, really wild, but they are creating an awful lot of fear. And as long as you go down the path of fear, you're going down the path of, we're going to repeat the same pattern over and over and over again. And anybody that's offering anything a direction of fear is going to be the wrong direction to go into. Fear is like a fire, and when the planet is getting more fearful, and our fears, that energy level is affecting that sun, it's heating up the sun to cause solar flares, which comes back at us, and then causes earthquakes. They're starting to put the connection together that what the sun's doing has a direct effect on earthquakes. So it's what energy we put out there in our smallness of ourselves, the epicenter of ourselves, that's going to affect the bigness. Because the bigness is a reflection of who we are, and it will come back at us like a karma. So, the more that we live in fear, the more that they can frustrate us. That's sort of like the goal, because they know it's coming, but they are, they're even saying they're doing God's work. And it's like, yeah, create as much friggin' fear as possible. Create as many problems as possible, and then that will create this scenario being repeated over and over again. But how do you get a whole planet not to live in fear while we're dealing with a lot of problems? The deal is not to live in the problems, not to cope and deal with the problems. That is what our problem is. It's about transforming the problems into the solutions. If we can all sort of be awake to doing everything that's right, then we will pass through this next evolution, and we will actually evolve into what it is we're supposed to be experiencing. But this 2012, what they know is real, and what they know is coming up is our awareness. We are in a truth stage right now, and just as soon as you sort of, oh, that was false, guess what? The same people that have created all the false information are now giving you something else to believe in that's also false. So it's like they're repeating the same false information over and over and over again, and it's a matter of, can we recognize that? Can we really recognize what truth really is? And we're in a stage of truth, and we only have another couple of years to figure out what really is truth. And like I said again, it's like your belief systems will prevent you from seeing what is truth. You can't believe what is truth, because it's going to be wild. It's going to go totally against what you believe to be true. And yet look at where you got your belief systems. From every friggin' professional, from an education system that's only telling you what to believe because they want you to believe something. You got all your beliefs from a book. You got your beliefs from your religion. You got your belief from your government. You got your beliefs from your family history. What really is true? What is worth believing? So it's like, yeah, the whole system's going to be repeated over and over again if we don't pull out of this and figure out what truth is. If the scenario of the day after comes, and yes, we need to be prepared for it, Do you have any idea of what they're going to repeat? Most of the people that might know what's going on that are not being heard, because it's too unbelievable to believe in, they will be the ones that die because it ain't really worth a world living in if you can't get it. So you're gonna try and be the peace, be the love, try to be the one that's, let's solve the problems instead of be the problem, while the others are going to be focused on surviving and continuating the problems, because it's ignore the problems, just cope and deal and survive. It's that cope and deal and survive that is the problem, and it's those people that will survive. So the next world that you get created in is going to be a repeat of the same freaking pattern, and it's going to go on for thousands and thousands of years. And it's those crazy green berets, those guys that caused all of the problems, that are burying themselves in the ground, and basically those guys are going to be the ones that are going to entomb themselves, because what they're doing is causing a lot of earth changes, and they can't possibly have the technology that's going to create the power of the earth from crushing them. So if you really, really, really want to know how to survive the best, build yourself a friggin' ark. Because it's like, you kind of want to be within the water and flow within the water. And that is where you're going to be able to survive, because the land is going to be shifting an awful lot. The water is going to be fluid. So if you really want to know how to survive this crap, build yourself a sustainable boat, that can dive in and dive out and not sink. And, those are going to be the guys that survive this, and I ain't seeing anybody even talk about that. But it was in the Bible, Noah's Ark. He saved two of everything, saved his plants. That was an example of where we've gone through the same pattern over and over and over again. I wouldn't even go in the air, because the air is probably going to be, bombarded by a lot of radiation if we don't jump into the solution. Then, being anywhere on the surface of the planet is not going to be healthy. Being down in the land is not going to be healthy. Being in the fluid, the water, is your safest bet. So if you really, really want to, okay, how do you survive this, if you even want to be the one that survives in the next 1,000 years of the insanity, because they haven't figured it out this time? There's your smartest bet. Peace out.